Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Jaguar XJ220S TWR in multiplayer in Asphalt 9 at Golden Max. Please consider subscribing if you have not already, and be sure to check out my Furum Clips channel, as well as my Purple Team Discord and my recent video about my new channel memberships. The links to all of those will be down in the description below, and I hope you enjoy these races. The Jaguar XJ220S is undoubtedly one of the oddest cars to come to Asphalt 9 recently. By which I mean not that the car itself is odd. The Jaguar XJ220S is a classic, but just the car's stats are extremely strange and not really like anything else in its class at all. Its nitro stat is a good bit higher than its acceleration stat, which is pretty rare in and of itself, but get this, its nitro stat at 82 is the highest in S-Class, and the acceleration at 75 is the lowest in S-Class. And the rest of its stats are kind of meh. The top speed caps out at 247 if it can get there due to that extremely poor acceleration, which is basically the same as an Icona or an Iran or the GT by Citroën from Class A. So it's actually on the slower end of S-Class cars, and its handling is 60, which isn't terrible. It's not the most agile car, but as you can see on this track, it's able to get around the turns fairly well. I didn't really have much of an issue with this car's drifting or handling, so that's alright. Nothing really to complain about there, but nothing to write home about either. It's pretty clear that this car's biggest strength is in its strong nitro efficiency. But the issue with that is, well, I mean, even with that strong nitro efficiency, you don't have a good enough acceleration to be able to get the car up to its top speed all that much. Now, the super long nitro kind of acts as a form of acceleration in that since you do have such a long-lasting nitro, you pretty much will be accelerating always since you won't run out of nitro to stop accelerating. If you understand what I mean, it's going to be consistent acceleration, but it's not going to be fast at all, and therefore you are going to get way behind in standard multiplayer races in the beginning. And honestly, I can't really see you being able to catch up much throughout races either, because in regular multiplayer seasons, since this is an S-Class car, of course, you won't be able to use it until Legend League. And once you're in Legend League, you're already going to be facing other better and faster S-Class cars, as well as some A-Class cars as well. If this car was put into A-Class with its current stats, it would actually be a very good contender and a very interesting high-end A-Class car. But given that it's an S-Class, I cannot really recommend anybody go for it, you know, like if you want to get the later cars in the British Tour season, by all means, I'm probably going to try to get the key in its Grand Prix if I can, just for that purpose. But other than that, this car is going to be kind of useless, and I can't really see it having much use outside of the current season. But that's one reason I'm glad that Gameloft has decided to give us these max free try multiplayer seasons of most of the new cars that we get in the updates. And relating that to what I was just talking about, it allows people to have a chance to play a good bit in a car that they may not be trying to go for otherwise, or at least that most people aren't going to try to start up to Golden Max. I mean, I'm sure a few people will, but most people will certainly not be doing that with this car. And so it gives everybody a chance to see, okay, what would this car be like? And it makes it a little bit easier to tell whether or not you actually want to go for it or not. And I really appreciate Gameloft doing that. Also, it gives me good content for my channel. And speaking of content for my channel, since I passed my actuarial exam recently, I now have a good bit more free time. So you can expect the video schedule to pick back up again. 3 videos a week is my goal, or at minimum 2 videos a week. I've got a backlog of other videos that people have sent me, and I also have a few cars that I want to test on my own that generally I tested before, but I never tested them at my current star level, especially if I maxed it and never made a max video about it. Like for example, the TVR Griffith. That car is one that I tested at 2 stars a while back, and Golden maxed a very long time ago, but I'd made a video at 4 stars with that car from Bebop before I maxed it, and so now it would be a good idea for me to make one as well. And Skipper gave me the idea of trying to play in that car in Gold League, which I might try to do. I mean, if you think about it, it's fast enough to be able to compete in Gold League, but only on some tracks, so it will be very track dependent. If I get Himalayas a lot, I can see that going very well. If I get all Rome and like Buenos Aires and whatnot, it probably won't be, so we'll see. But that's the kind of content that I want to be making in the near future. I've also thought, and let me know what you guys think about this, of making a video about drive syndicates in general and what Gameloft might be able to do to improve them. Since I didn't have time to make a full-fledged video about the most recent drive syndicate with the Chimera DS4, I thought that that might be kind of a better way to take it, because the thing is, I'd be doing basically the same kinds of calculations as I did for the LVN drive syndicate, and it's been so long that nobody really cares about that anymore anyway, but the whole idea of drive syndicates and the general stuff that people have liked and disliked about the ones in the past seem to be a consistent pattern. So I've thought about making a video, perhaps going over some of the community's thoughts about drive syndicates, what they like, what they dislike, what Gameloft can improve. So please put in the comments down below some things that you might like to see improved about drive syndicates and everything like that. And at some point, I plan to make some kind of video just kind of compiling everything together and maybe sending it to Gameloft and seeing what they think. Because the thing is, drive syndicates, the whole idea of a drive syndicate is very cool, to be completely honest with you. I like the longer form, somewhat story-driven kind of event that we got there, and the creative team did a very good job putting them all together. It's just, they're way too pay to win. So if we can limit that in some ways, some very key ways, like for example, the biggest thing that I can think of is making it so that you can actually buy Syndicate coins with tokens. That right there would be a huge difference. I mean, more so than the relay packs like we originally had with the ESCO event, for example, stuff like that. But yeah, put your ideas down below, and that is also something else that I'm planning to work on soon. So as we enter our final race, it's time for me to give my general review about this car. I had fun driving it, I'm gonna be honest with you, and as you can see throughout this video, I had some very close and intense races, but while the car is fun enough to drive at max, I wouldn't really recommend anybody actually try to max it themselves, unless that, for some reason, ends up being absolutely required to get the Ultima if you really want that for some reason. But for most people, I would just recommend try to do what you can in the Grand Prix and try to unlock it for sure for the British Tour season. Don't expect to use it much beyond that, given its low top speed for its class and its very sluggish acceleration. It's not going to be very competitive in multiplayer in really any kind of season. Although if I do manage to unlock the car, perhaps I'll try it at low stars just for the funnies. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, Minecraft, and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!